I'm Faith, and welcome to Faith's Take, where I talk about anything and everything that I find interesting. And welcome to part 1 of my Psycho Trilogy, with my review of RiffTrax' Psychotronic Man. Yes, indeed, for the spookiest time of the year, I'm going to be taking on 3 maniacal RiffTrax flicks. Before we head into this first film, though, I want to give you guys the 2 definitions of the word psychotronic. While it may sound like a made-up word for this movie, which I thought it was at first, it actually isn't. The first definition of the word is one used in the film. It's a term for research and development in parapsychology, which itself is a word for mental processes that aren't logically explained, like hypnosis and other bizarre, probably fake, mental phenomenon. That's what the movie barely mentions and where the title comes from. But this movie has actually had quite the impact on the B-movie community. Back in 1980, a Mr. Michael J. Weldon, not to be confused with our riff master, Michael J. Nelson, created a sci-fi, horror, and overall crummy movie-based magazine called Psychotronic Video, inspired by this very ridiculous film. Thanks to that very magazine, when you research the definition of the word, it has become the very definition. Psychotronic is now seen as an adjective meaning anything and everything related to B-movies. All because this little movie premiered in April of 1980. But is this insane film worthy of such a legacy? Let's find out with my review of RiffTrax' Psychotronic Man. We open the film seeing a barber who we later learn is named Rocky Fosco, clipping a man's hair on a seemingly ordinary day. Yes, a barber that allows himself to have that haircut. After silently chopping away, his client pays him and makes awkward small talk. Once he's alone, Rocky takes a big old swig out of a bottle hidden amongst his hair products. While I assume the movie wants us to believe that it's alcohol in that bottle, it's far funnier to imagine that he is, in fact, drinking random hair products from his work supply, so that's what I choose to believe. Rocky then decides to head home for the day for a driving scene James Wen would be proud of. The credits then roll, and apparently everyone wished to remain as anonymous as possible because the credits are hardly legible. We then find Rocky pulling over to doze off instead of, just going home to his own bed. He wakes up finding himself in a mysterious cloud of fog, and after squinting angrily at it for a while, he finally opens his car door to investigate, only to find himself an immeasurable height in the air. After clawing his way back into the car, he just falls back to sleep again? Not even trying to find a way to free himself from the prison of smoke and darkness. He wakes up moments later to find he's parked safely on the ground once again.
International harmony. World peace through crappy movies. It's Chewbacca. He's been in the chair for like 17 hours.
Well, I suppose you'll be cutting hair into the evening, huh?
No way. As a matter of fact, I'm closing up right now. And thank you.
Meeting a chick.
No, I just want to get away from it all.
He's very gradually handing out angel's wings.
Oh yeah, that'll keep your throat bouncy and extra volumized.
Parking and driving? Well, maybe Hitchcock wasn't the only director that influenced James and Wen.
A song that's sweeping the country and western charts, Truck Driving Blues by the Tex Johnston Band.
Oh yeah, I got the truck driving blues. Driving a car, can't afford a truck. That gives me the blues. And I admit it's confusing. If I had a truck, I'd be happy, but I have a car, and instead I've got those truck driving blues. No truckie has a car, truck driving blues. Yeah.
Ooh, bravo,
It's a bright,
guys.
sunny day in the Windy City with a big...
A barber's uneventful, yet longer than you'd expect a barber to have commute lights up the screen.
Living in Upper Michigan is an interesting choice for a Chicago barber.
Very thoughtful of the credits to also double as a color blindness test. I can't see a thing.
I'm failing to.
So far, the screenplay just reads, Barber gets in car and tests audience patience.
Oh, come on.
This was made on a dare. There's no other explanation.
Oh, damn steering wheel mounted horns.
He looks like me trying to read the credits for Psychotronic Man. Hey, I got an idea. He should squint out the window like a dumbass a dozen more times. Yeah, Ralph Nader was right!
Why did I trade my AAA card for a bottle of comb disinfectant and then drink the comb disinfectant? This is how I'd react if my mother the car happened in real life.
Maybe he's Psychotronic Man's sidekick? Narcolepsy boy?
I had the worst dream that something exciting happened.
We then cut to Rocky waking up for the third time in as many minutes, safe and sound in bed at home. We briefly see his kids and wife, who thinks Rocky's had a bad hangover, mistaking his fear of the dream for a bad night of drinking. She suggests Rocky head to the doctor, and he obliges. After telling the doc about his dream, which, mercifully, we don't have to hear the whole thing retold verbatim, he assumes Rocky's just been hitting the sauce too hard and prescribes him some headache medicine. Rocky heads into work as usual, and after a bizarre grandmother comes in with her grandson in tow, Rocky starts to have another freak-out, this time while completely awake. Though granted, with the story the grandma was telling, I think most of us would have the same reaction as Rocky here. He runs out of the shop as fast as he can, and he races back on down the road. To where exactly? I have no idea. Rocky doesn't ever make any of his intentions very clear, as you'll see going forward. He parks on the side of the road for no reason, at least that we as an audience get to know. An old man approaches him and invites him in for coffee, and Rocky accepts solely due to the fact that the old man mentions hearing weird things the night before. The man explains he heard screams from above last night, which triggers Rocky into another fit, suddenly forcing the man against the wall without even touching him, leading to his unfortunate end.
Suzanne Plachette's in the bed next to him. Patrick Duffy's in the shower.
Wait a second. I hate hair.
Shooter, you don't forget now. You come home with your brother.
No trips to foggy nether dimensions for you, young lady.
But I don't have a hangover, damn it.
Well, then go see a doctor, honey.
No, the doctor's an even longer drive than the barber shop.
But Doc, what about this dream I had last night? It seemed so real.
Unlike this doctor's office.
What I'm trying to say is, my car was up in the sky.
Oh, this is where he takes off his nerd glasses and suddenly he's really sexy. Watch. Oh, nope.
Right.
Sorry.
I'll write out a prescription for those headaches of yours.
These opiates should cure all your problems. Just pound them down whenever.
Sure and see Sharon.
Psychotronic Man is filmed in front of a live studio audience.
This was the parking scene that really impressed the editors at Psychotronic magazine. Yeah, you just see that and think Cult Film Journal.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
How's the young grandson today?
Oh, fine.
You don't speak
Good.
for me.
See, we don't have to wait. She'd howl and she'd squeal. So you know what?
Oh.
I decided to take her to the vet.
A sick dog to the vet?
Well,
You don't
instead of
say.
fixing her itching ears, he told me to go home and get a pile of her stool. Well, of course, we call it number 2.
Oh, God, she's telling the stool story again.
With itching ears, so I went home. Well, you know, he hung up on me.
It's the ghost of Fantastic Sam, and he's pissed.
I'm not even a barber.
I gotta leave now.
And this happens every time she tells a story.
Yeah, this is the 4th barbershop they've tried today.
Troubled by bad dreams? Is your barbershop suddenly haunted? May we suggest getting in a car and driving nowhere in particular?
Phew! Thank goodness. Much needed pause from all the breakneck action. Oh, my heart.
Car trouble, mister?
I'm sorry, was that your first time speaking?
No. You live around here? No, right over there. Moved out here after the wife died. It was some peace and quiet. But you know something? Lately, some mighty weird things been happening around here.
Weird indeed. You mean to tell me a woman was married to you at some point? Wow.
Sure, when I'm accosted by a toothless stranger on the road, my first instinct is, join him for beans and toast.
What did you mean, weird?
Possibly be weirder than what's happening here.
When me and the dog was about, so I got my scattergun and went out to sea.
This is a dark take on the night before Christmas.
But then it seemed like the hollering and screaming was coming from the top of the trees. From the very sky.
I begged him to probe me, but nothing.
Maybe the Lord just wanted to show his wrath on us. I don't know.
Though I am a divinity scholar with 3 advanced degrees.
Aren't you feeling well?
Homemade facelift or something?
Oh, scattergun, don't fail me now. Also, why do I call you a scattergun instead of a shotgun? I guess I may never know.
Old guy got off easy. Didn't even have to hear about the stupid dream.
5 hours after Rocky's fled the scene, Lieutenant, did I mention I'm Irish, O'Brien is assigned the case. He and the station's doctor and photographer take a look at the bloody body and realize that while the gun has indeed been fired, the dead man was not the target and has mysteriously been killed with something unidentifiable. The cops then find Rocky's barber coat out by the road, as well as tire tracks that just seem to disappear. Now, while the car could have just, backed back up into the street, it's far more logical for us as the viewers to assume Rocky's car actually was flying in midair the previous night. Rocky's doctor pores over some files and papers for nearly 3 minutes real time and puts together that this mysterious old man's death may be connected with his supposedly drunken patient. He calls the station and tells them, I don't know what. We don't hear his side of the call, and what would he say anyway? I had a guy who had a dream that took place near that road, so I assume he killed that guy? What real-life detective would take that seriously? But O'Brien does, and he heads to the doc's office. Unfortunately for the doctor, Rocky gets there first.
Try some more pills.
That's fine, Michael, thank you.
But doctor, this gun has been fired.
Like I told you, O'Brien, as far as I can tell, no bullet has entered this body.
For a guy named O'Brien, you're a lousy
Frankly,
cop.
I don't see a pea shooter do it. But I can tell you this. This man has only been dead for about 5 hours.
5 hours, the exact amount of time my 5-hour energy drink lasted. Coincidence? No, couldn't be.
Lieutenant, can you give us an explanation?
I have no comment at this time, ma'am.
Other than
you
I
must have
begorra,
some idea.
of course.
Look, lady, I said...
I think you should take a look at this.
It's several sacks of potatoes arranged into the shape of a leprechaun.
Well, now I'm interested.
These tracks are the ones that we found up near the farmhouse. But what's puzzling is that, well, these tracks just in.
Doc Brown and his damn DeLorean again.
Dear Jim Henson, I am sorry for pretending to be you at parties. I promise I will cease and desist immediately.
Jeez, how boring do I have to be to get them to stop filming me?
Back to it. Gotta fill out a lot more paperwork in real time.
Oh, but surely these documents will be important to the story in some way, won't they?
Of course they will, sweetie. Of course they will. Don't worry. Wait, I've murdered people out on Old Orchard Road. Maybe I finally made the paper. Take that, Dad. Come on, you're already working at the lab late one night. May as well go all the way in Monster Mash. Do it, please.
This is Joyce Roberts for TV3X.
This isn't Columbo.
No firm clues. If anybody's going to talk to the press, it's going to be me. Now pass that down to your cronies.
Oh, there's the crony line now.
What? You. Yes.
Excuse me, Lieutenant. There's a Dr. Steinberg on the phone who thinks he knows something about the Old Orchard case.
Okay, I better take it now.
So, should I follow you and yell, or what?
Hey, O'Brien, here's a lab report on the jacket that we found.
Turns out we're using the wrong lens for this camera. Cuts the corners off.
Speak. Thank you. Doctor, could we talk tonight?
I just really need a friend.
Oh, Mr. Wilson, why do you put up with Dennis's shenanigans?
Can I have some more pills?
Rocky tries to tell the doctor something is really wrong with him that he doesn't understand, but the doctor assures him it's fine and to wait while he grabs a shot. Instead, he recalls the police, but O'Brien's already on the way and doesn't arrive quickly enough. Because Rocky decides to off the doctor too. Why does he decide to kill him? Does he know that the doctor even suspected him? And if so, how? Who knows? Maybe he just has a bloodlust now as he telekinetically yeets the poor doctor out his office window. O'Brien finds him a bloody pool on the sidewalk, and he and his sidekick, Sergeant Chuck, investigate the scene. Smash cut to a bar where the music is grooving and the 70ness of this 1980 movie just pours off the screen. Dancing and synth fill our senses for a few minutes while Rocky pounds down some more booze, clearly the best thing for him in his fragile mental state. A beautician from the salon next door to his own shop runs into him, and they decide to spend the night together. After a few more minutes of funkin', clearly being produced by a band the director must have known personally given their insane amount of screen time, we end up seeing the two in bed together. Why would anyone choose to have an affair with a greasy, depressed barber? I, once again, have no clue.
It's you. What do you want at this hour, Mr. Fosco?
Doctor, I need your help.
Well, I was,
certainly not plotting a Medicare scam.
Why don't you call for an
I
appointment?
don't know where you got that idea.
You know this isn't really the proper time for you.
I've gotten into some
we'll
real
talk.
trouble.
We'll talk. Just relax.
Yeah, this being Chicago, eat a 3-inch pile of dough with tomato soup poured on it and call it pizza.
Yeah, he said relax, not get naked.
His one request to AT&T, give me the ugliest phone you've got.
My God, only a Psychotronic Man could turn that knob.
No. Hollow burns?
Yeah, Doc, nodding doesn't work when you're on the phone.
I say thank you very much, Abel.
Am I going to get a lollipop or not?
Tell everyone I'm not a stuffed dummy!
Let's see. Lit with only 2 work lights as though there were no budget for this murder. That's a clue. Oh, horrible decorating taste.
God, what a mess. I knew something happened, but I didn't think it was anything like this.
This borders on groovy.
What do you mean? Chuck.
Yeah?
Would you clean up this mess a little?
Yeah,
I
no
gotta
problem.
run. I gotta go.
Okay. Hey, Bob?
Is that what cops do at crime scenes? They clean up a little? Ice water, hell yeah, baby!
Yeah, he thinks he's special, but most of the people in this bar recently killed a guy.
Chicago on the weekend. Being in the 70s is great. I mean, except for the music and the clothes and the bad paneling and the cocaine and the awful 70s people. Otherwise, living the 70s dream.
Isn't this place just absolutely the Psychotronicest?
I've been looking for you all day today. I had to lock up the shop, and then you left the lights on. And I've been making excuses to your customers.
Hey, Kathy! Shut up! I'm telling them about the lights. It's like a pop-up bar in somebody's nana's foyer.
Now, children out there, remember this horror next time you hear someone pine for the good old days.
Rocky.
Why am I here when I could clearly do better? Clearly.
But
I hope things will change.
Well, I hope the camera stops getting closer to your nipple. We all have our hopes.
Can you play the guitar in the loosest technical sense of the word? Congratulations, you're on the soundtrack.
I assume next morning, it's kind of hard to tell, O'Brien ends up at Rocky's place asking to speak with him, but his wife sends him away, insisting Rocky isn't home, when in reality he is. She clearly loathes Rocky, given the dialogue and performance, so your guess is as good as mine as to why she would cover for him. O'Brien goes to a school of psychology where they seem to be performing autopsies for some reason to speak with a professor about some theories when it comes to flying cars, murders with no discernible weapons, and the like. The professor explains parapsychology as I mentioned in the intro, and how subjects such as flying and telekinesis death would fall under the theory of psychotronic behaviors. When O'Brien asks him if he believes in it, the professor just inexplicably walks off. Meanwhile, Chuck and another cop are staked outside of Rocky's house. When he awakens from his drunken stupor, he decides he has to go on the lam. His wife confronts him and he almost kills her, but her scream summons the cops. Somehow, Rocky's able to head downstairs and peel out of the driveway before the cops can even reach his front door, and the chase is on. O'Brien catches up with the rest of his crew, and police all over Chicago are warned about Rocky and trying to cut him off. The car chase comes complete with Rocky suddenly being able to fly his car at will, not just willy-nilly in his dreams, and crash and explode his car without a scratch on him, resulting in the chase having to continue on foot.
Did a peephole get stuck to the camera?
I'm Lieutenant Walter O'Brien, Madam, County Sheriff's Department. I'd like to speak to Mr. Fosco, please.
I'm here on behalf of Ireland. Even we think he has a drinking problem.
7. Sometimes he's home, sometimes he ain't.
All right, madam. I'll call back later.
When your simmering rage has reached a rolling
What's wrong?
boil.
Something happened.
All right, students, that should do it for today.
Hey.
Follow through with your assignments for tomorrow.
But I'm still hungry.
Professor?
That wasn't my hard drive.
Walter O'Brien. We spoke last night on the telephone.
I am a scientist.
But I thought that you were an expert in the field of parapsychology.
Parapsychology? No, ferret psychology.
As to whether only theories exist in the studies of parapsychology.
Well then, can you tell me your theory concerning this case?
Any suspects? Girl named Carrie, perhaps?
Established a premise in this field. It's called psychotronic energy.
Could you be more explicit, sir?
Fresh.
You must understand.
But do you believe in this psychotronic energy? Yes or no?
Oh, look, we gotta go. That's the carbon monoxide detector.
10-4, guys. I'm coming in with a warrant. I swear if he's in there, we'll nail him.
Good thing Illinois issues
right,
warrants
10-4.
based on suspicion of psychotronics.
What are you doing? Rocky, where do you think you're going?
It's a surprise. He wants to renew your wedding
Will you
vows.
answer me? Well, will you at least tell me what's happening? What's wrong?
Yeah, everything's going so well at home.
I haven't got time to explain.
And why not?
Get off of me!
Fisheye, the lens choice of psychotronic alcoholics.
I just wanted to move to suburbia and trim hedges and stuff like Edward Scissorhands.
And look out, that's just a Wile E. Coyote mural!
All right, boys, fall back a bit and let me have him. We've got him now.
Despite the many off-ramps and side streets that exist in a major city, we've got him for sure.
Sure, I'm beckoning the cops by keeping my lights on, but it's spooky out here.
Theory, my eye.
This proves the Earth is flat. Yeah, swirling red light directly in your field of vision improves nighttime driving.
And Mike, I never raced through tunnels without one.
Aha! Now gently leave the ground and fly away like before.
Well, that's a shame, huh? His only weakness was everything he encountered.
Sure, why not? Psychotronic and all, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you couldn't guess by all the chases exclusively being at night here, this film was made without permits. I guess at the time, Chicago Mayor Richard J. Daley hated movies and didn't want them made in his town. So Psychotronic Man was made without any permits and was completely privately funded. And that can really be felt in the climax here as the chase in the city, with gunplay no less, goes on and on and on. It consists of him outwitting the cops a few times before being followed into a rat-infested alley where he disarms, but doesn't kill, this hide-and-seek champion cop that finds him. He runs off into a hotel, leaving the cop stuck behind a train, but by some miracle they know he's in that specific building and follow him to this upstairs boiler room or whatever this is. Rocky's now able to fully control his psychotronicness, blowing the cops away and killing the one that cornered him earlier. The cops end up chasing him to the roof and calling in a SWAT team to take care of things. In the last couple minutes, a government officer, whose voice is the only dubbed one in the film for some reason, insists that the government wants Rocky alive to use his powers. Why would you want to use the powers of a murdering lunatic is not deemed important enough to explain. O'Brien denies this order, has the SWAT shoot Rocky anyway, and he falls to his supposed doom. But the body isn't found. The film wraps with Rocky on Flying Car Road, strolling into the sunset, presumably to go live his telekinetic life on the run.
You know they call this no-permit movie-making guerrilla shooting?
Oh, yeah, like the Matt LeBlanc movie, Ed.
Oh, Bill, go to
Guerrilla.
hell. So to hell.
Soundtrack provided by Angry Erratic Toothbrushing.
Yeah, so you just leave the camera rolling while the authorities chase you for filming without the permit. It's so effective.
Beautiful.
Hey guys, can you help me with this tripod leg? No. Hey guys, can you help me with this tripod leg? No. Hey guys, help me with this tripod leg? No. Hey, help me with this tripod? No.
Freeze!
He fired before the sound wave of freeze even hit him.
Avery Schreiber is Death Wish 2.
Okay, if I don't turn to my left, maybe that pursuing light source will go away and leave me alone.
Experience firsthand how each actress was cast for her role.
It's pretty much the way I always leave Chicago.
Looking behind you.
Getting shot at, yep.
Well, knowing this movie, there's a minimum of 3,000 cars to this train.
Hey, wait a minute, stop!
That guard was headed for the floor, psychic energy or not.
Wait a minute. He's going all the way to the top.
His star power is limitless.
Yep, sorry if you're just like an innocent custodial worker or something.
Freeze, Mr.
Quinn Harley, Joker the...
Wee, look at me, I'm a pretty little autumn leaf.
Me too, wee!
I loaned him that shirt. That was my best shirt. I joined SWAT after I retired.
Captain, Yes, Lieutenant. I have a man up on that roof, and I want him hit. Is he armed? He doesn't need to be.
Yeah, very dramatic. Is he armed, please?
Make certain no harm comes to him, and that when he is captured, he'll be placed in my custody.
What? Do you realize this man is responsible for the murders of 3 people?
3 people, or as it's known in Chicago, the bare minimum.
This guy's a rare breed. Probably the only one of his kind in this hemisphere.
A barber who knows what a little off the top actually means.
That he possesses psychotronic. I've got my orders. I just gave you yours.
Don't make me report you to the dubbed division.
Captain, don't miss.
Okay, listen up. Everybody gather directly in the path of the bullets. That's it.
Hey, let this be a lesson. Never tell anyone about a dream you had.
Hey! More like bottom of the morning to you supercut shitbird.
Damn, Lieutenant, he's not down there.
Not down there, expressed with all the surprise of learning that your local Publix moved the cold pickles.
Oh, and did we mention I'm bulletproof? We didn't, did we?
Well, Mike, that's probably in the director's cut, along with the part that explains how he can survive falls from tremendous heights.
Oh, yeah, and that he was being pursued by a shadowy government agency with sinister designs on his powers.
Or how a humble barber of, let's face it, limited physical appeal
very limited.
and suspect intelligence had both a wife and a hot young mistress.
Now, see, that would have made an interesting movie.
No.
Probably not. Yeah.
This film definitely has both a lot and not enough going for it, if that makes any sense. On the one hand, clearly they were trying in terms of music, which, though repetitive, can be catchy at times and way better than in other films we've seen. The actors, though clearly made of people the director probably already knew, do try, at least for the most part, and even the cinematography is elevated compared to the next film this Psycho Trilogy is covering. However, the plot is thin, the explanation of the powers, as well as Rocky's ability to control them, is never fleshed out and just leaves me confused. And as I said before, there are several driving and chasing scenes that drag on for far too long. However, it's a fun ride. Mike, Kevin, and Bill are at the top of their game as usual, and I can see how this film inspired Michael J. Weldon to name his B-Movie magazine after it. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and special thanks to my thrilling Patreon supporters, including Jackie Ball, Kevin Nata, and Isabella Summit. I hope you all enjoy this review and are looking forward to the rest of this Psycho Trilogy, because I know I am. We'll be continuing it with the one and only Joe Estevez's San Fran Psycho. And if you're into Mystery Science and RiffTrax watch parties, you better head over to my Twitch account. Every Monday and Friday night at 7 Central, we watch a couple of movies. And in November, I'll be doing some huge St. Jude charity streams every Saturday. So please head over to Twitch and check it out. Link, as always, is in the description. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys later.